I'm really curious about just... this place. It's like nothing ever happened. The ghosts are gone. "15 years ago, during the last Phantasmoon Games, I participated as a supplicant. I once believed that all it took for a supplicant to win was to show the people a magnificent miracle. And then I'd have an audience with the Eon of Elation. How foolish. How naive I was. Not everyone wants to obtain everyone's wish power in a positive way. On July 22nd, year 1984 of the Arcadian calendar, a supplicant harboring immense malice stepped into Graphia Academy. He slaughtered 22 students who had stayed behind after school, then went on to Dovebrook District, where 146 innocent civilians were either killed or wounded. That killer moved like a deranged artist, leaving corpses, imprinting his signature mark. The Bloody Bloom. The media dubbed him the Herald of Death.
It was a tragedy that the world could not forget. The Phantasmoon Games of that year came to be remembered as the Blood-Stained Games. So many parents lost their children. So many people lost those dearest to them. One of the victims was my very own daughter. Upon my return, I stood before the grave where she was laid to rest. Her name was Himeko. Forgive me. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ryusuke, the current dean of Graphia Academy. So, this lady who bears her name, who exactly are you?
"15 years ago, when I made up my mind to join this Phantasmoon Games, my father wasn't with me. Even as I fought for my life against the Herald of Death, my father was still off somewhere, wandering the cosmos. Strictly speaking, ever since I can remember, his presence in my life has been as thin as the air in space. So, I would ask you, who bears his name, who exactly are you?
Welcome back to the Arcadian Morning Report Special Edition. We continue to bring you updates on the Phantasmoon Games.
The Sparksy con hosted by Supplicant Sparksy came to an abrupt end less than an hour after it began!
Under the watchful eyes of the entire network, the Nameless from the Astral Express went head-to-head with streamer Sparksy in a spectacular showdown. Unbelievable! I used to think all of the Trailblazers' fight scenes in director Rekka's latest film, Holy Grail Stay Night, were just special effects. Turns out he's got real moves.
We'll continue following the Astral Express's activities and bring you...
Breaking news! Around 4 p.m. today, the Security Bureau uncovered multiple corpses at the Sinwish Syndicate's headquarters in Dovebrook District. Initial reports suggest violent infighting among gang members as the cause. Even more shocking, an IPC employee was found dead at the scene. According to the investigation, the victim was identified as Lyndon Scott.
Lyndon Scott, age 34. Field operative in the Strategic Investment Department. Ring any bells, Mr. Ashvale?
Never heard of him. What was someone from the IPC doing here?
Word is, the Sinwish Syndicate recently got hold of a mask. Maybe Mr. Scott came to negotiate for the Phantasmoon games, and got caught in the fallout. Apologies for interrupting your work, Mr. Ashvale.
Wouldn't call it an interruption. The mess at Graphia Academy cleared itself up. But this...
Initial assessment. 33 Sinwish Syndicate members. Leader Polwave included, along with second-in-command Costide, were murdered in the same time frame.
Costide.
The victims show clear signs of trauma and fractures, along with massive blood loss. Exact cause of death still pending further autopsy.
These stylized handprints. We both know what they mean. Bloody Bloom. Only one person ever used that as their calling card. The Herald of Death is back.
Your suspicion isn't without merit, but that guy was executed 5 years ago.
Executed? Who witnessed it? Was the execution broadcast to the public? Who can prove he's dead? Who's to say you didn't let him out to rig this entire game?
You've heard the rule, haven't you? No one can enter the Phantasmoon games twice. So let me give you a piece of advice. Don't let rage gnaw away at your reason. It's bad for your health. The case's info is in the dossier. Get to work. The Department of Aberration Defense isn't paying us to bum around,
Rage sparked quietly in the detective's chest, and not even the wind from Dovebrook could dispel the metallic tang of blood clinging to his nose. When he first heard the Sinwish Syndicate had obtained the mask, a grim premonition stirred within him, but he never expected it to be the omen of a friend's death.
Mr. N, he's no longer with us. Now he's just a body, another nameless casualty buried beneath a headline. People only care about the stars twinkling above, about the epic tales of the eternal conflicts among the cosmos' great figures. Compared to all that, who would mourn a small-time thug from a petty gang?
What should we do next?
I've been slacking off for far too long. It's time to make a choice.
Mr. Ashvale,
If you're calling now, may I assume you've accepted my offer?
You are right, Miss Pearl. I'll join the games, assuming you still need me, of course.
My offer still stands. Just like 15 years ago, the same omen returns. There are signs the Phantasmoon games are spiraling out of control again. Mr. Ashvale, I ask for your strength to steer these Ionic games back on course.
All I have to offer is a heart set on revenge.
Today, 33 citizens of Plain Arcadia and 1 IPC colleague perished under mysterious circumstances. Someone is imitating the Herald of Death's methods, attempting to interfere with the games. Only victory can bring solace to the fallen.
No. What consoles the dead is only justice.
What's the matter? Found a better candidate? Don't I even make the shortlist?
This is a game shaped by the most capricious Eon. Surprises and twists are its very nature. It's only right I choose the strongest players. Even so, I have to ask, what makes you so sure that I'd hire a wanted criminal to fight in the Phantasmoon games, instead of tossing you into an IPC cell?
Throw me in prison? But the Strategic Investment Department in Penacony clearly extended an olive branch to us Stellaron hunters. No? Changed your minds already? You suits sure turn faster than a page in a paperback. So let's cut the fluff. Give me a mask. Call it your first strategic investment in us. What do you say?
Understanding comes first, then the investment. Tell me, how do you plan to earn my trust?
Apologies in advance. Before I came to meet you, I broke into your collection room. I know what you've been working on. Oh, imaginate. Tell me, have you heard of Zero? Greatest hacker and most feared player in all of Punk Lord?
Some say she's an emanator of elation, while others say she enters the dark zone created by Mythos, as if it were her own backyard. She'd caused Punk Lord's data meltdown and infected IPC branches in 28 segmenta, isolating them from each other. Most information about Zero is half true, half false, much like the rumors surrounding you Stellaron hunters. But one thing is certain. Zero suffered a major downfall, and is now a prisoner of the IPC.
It's obvious she left a deep impression on you. Traumatic, even. In that case, you should also know that ether editing and imagenesis stem from the same technological source. Or art.
I know. I've studied it.
How could I forget? You stole Zero's tech to make that lousy cash grab game Ethereum Wars. Of course, you'd know all this. But you corporate moneybags will never comprehend it. The fleeting, ever-changing power of the elation. Zero once tampered with a parameter of reality, creating an independent realm that belonged solely to her, just like that other one.
Just like Graphia. Are you willing to trade the secrets of imagenesis?
I can think about it.
Deduction. You may be lying. I've heard that those who join the Stellaron hunters have long since abandoned the path they once walked.
Who knows? You're in the Arcadia of Elation. Wouldn't it be a waste not to test your luck?
Deal, Ether Hacker. And to seal it with confidence, let me show you a little trick of the trade.
A hacking trick?
Not exactly professional. Negotiating while soaked in a bathtub. I took one of your data slices. This will help us have a more honest conversation.
How did you do that?
Because I've studied you, including that cyber battle between you and that genius Schoolum. I even logged into all 76 of those banned accounts. I scattered just enough data breadcrumbs online for you to sniff out, leading you to the Ashen Detective. I even let you stroll through my collection room to explore as you pleased. Miss Silverwolf, a word of advice. Don't treat that mask like some 10 Stonehearts investment in a Stellaron hunter. Just think of this deal as something private, between you and me.
What the heck? I just blinked and suddenly half the supplicants are wearing masks? I was hoping the show would get better. Streamers clashing with cosmic heroes. A flashy brawl without anyone getting hurt. Wouldn't that have been nice? But now we've got a crow, a shell, a cat, a wolf? How many more mystery guests are crashing the stage? And this thing? When did it sneak in? In the end, everything always spirals into the abyss. But you're the rare exception. Your first battle wasn't bad for a greenhorn protagonist. Since you came out on top, let's wipe the slate clean on that doom-filled oath. Who knows if the owners of those masks will become your friends or opponents? Or maybe one of them will bring about that terrifying future I saw in my dreams. Little one, how'd you find your way here? The supplicants in this Phantasmoon Games really caught me by surprise.
Why don't those people in the Go Home Club?
Welcome! Please laugh to your heart's content. Give me the same old, some dry jokes. dreamed of a stellar chain. Give me the same old.
Where there's hope, there's the will to fight.
The black tide that blotted out the sky surrounded the city walls, the soldiers manning the walls, battered from battle. Melodious chords of music were suddenly heard. A single swordmaster had overcome the waves of enemies. The song flowed from betwixt the blades, breaking through formations as a dorsal fin cleaving the waves. When the last wicked beast finally fell, shattered into pieces amidst the sword's dance, the frost blade bore no trace of blood.
The legions of heroes under my command are as vast as the sea, yet lack a formidable sword banner.
The commander extended a hand, inviting the musician to join. Should a fish separated from its school glimpse a faint glow, it will swim toward the light. The swordmaster clasped the commander's hand, as though gently grasping the hilt of a keen blade. When the spray of her waves extinguished the fires of war from the holy city, a golden name was engraved upon the stone pillars. The former commander burned the crown to become king.
High Sealands, brave in battle, triumphant in command, I grant you the title Dux Gladiorum. Let us all forge ahead together.
During the banquet after the battle, the weaver tailored for her a splendid dress, and the commander poured her honey brew. Her golden-blooded comrades gathered about her, chanting her new name, urging her to play that splendid music. The candlelight danced and mingled with flowing drink, swords and song ringing out in unison. Yet none knew that was once a lonely melody from the deep sea. The music of revelry continued for a long time. until the whispers of conspiracies were buried in the songs, until the roars of lethal struggle shattered the music. Legend holds that they who bear the weight of a pillar shall one day return to where it stands. Those who tug at the earth shall end amongst the mountains. Those who sow dawn and dusk shall remain eternal in the sky. And she would once again return to the pitch-black sea. And she would once again sing her music alone. The bountiful ocean, with the banquets of bygone days, stir as futile bubbles at the bottom of a glass. Many years later, the song once played by that swordmaster was played by future generations in the holy city. The people knew the demigod of the seas was still a noble captain. She possessed peerless swordsmanship and a song that is passed down through the ages. It was just that she had long since vanished. Guests at the banquet sometimes spoke of her, but it was only a prayer between their cups.
High ceilings, melody of the waves, bless our night that we may drink deep and dance till dawn.
When entering the Flame Chase's currents for the first time, all the Swordmaster saw were colorful fish. She had already experienced the Imperator's dangerous games. She had long grown used to the giant beast's silent face. Carminum's charms and Helcalithist's gentleness warmed her like a spring breeze. But as Fragoris missed his throne and Bramalis debated with joy, she was sometimes at a loss. Occasionally, the Swordmaster would sink into hesitation, and even that messenger of fate could not get her to laugh. Till one day, a golden trout's bubbles floated into her gloomy waters. In that holy city where golden figs grew, the messenger of fate led to her a maiden dressed in glamorous gowns.
What kind of clothes are you even wearing?
The girl snickered behind her hand, while the messenger pulled on her sleeve.
Aggie, don't be rude!
Such hubris, delicate fish. Are you not aware that there's food on your face?
The messenger's eyes opened wide.
Aggie, you've been snacking behind my back again!
Exposing me like this? I'll get my revenge.
The girl ran away in a fit. The Swordmaster smiled, and before she knew it, her hesitation was gone. After that first meeting, the richly dressed girl often came in greeting.
So, you really came from the Sea of Souls? Do all the children of the ocean dress funny like this?
The Swordmaster did not chase the girl away, but also did not respond. So the girl used her hands to meticulously measure the Swordmaster's torso all around.
You can't be seen like this.
I'll send you a new dress.
Some days later, the Swordmaster appeared in finery at a ball. All were awed by her splendor, with only the Imperator thinking in wonder.
How rare to see you like this. Oh, so lonely, Gladius.
The Swordmaster's wardrobe grew full, and people praised Akima's Gold Weaver for her cheerfulness and splendid skill. But only the Swordmaster noticed that the smile on the girl's face gradually faded as the flame chase progressed. The calamity of lands asunder added to the girl's weariness. The Battle of the Grove robbed the light from the girl's eyes. Yet another feast arrived where the Gold Weaver was absent. The Swordmaster donned the most majestic garments and gently knocked on that door shut tight. The singing voice of Dux Gladiorum hailed the prelude of the feast. Guests clamored and cups clinked, and only the Gold Weaver had no thought of enjoying the ambrosia.
Who would have thought? I've sunk so low that I need you to comfort me.
She gave a bitter chuckle next to the bonfire.
You were as gloomy as the bedrock of the ocean when we first met.
The Swordmaster held a tall chalice containing liquid pure, reflecting their two faces.
I remember you were once curious about the stories under the sea. Then allow me to use my songs to reveal the past known to none.
In the depths of the Sea of Souls was a kingdom of dancing ghosts. Its residents all had melodious voices, and music enveloped every ocean current. For the queen loved her people deeply, thus drowning out all sorrows and leaving only feasts and twirls. Only one rocky castle was silent, one belonging to the Princess of the Ocean, a princess named Electra. Were a monster of the depths to invade, the princess would raise her sword to engage. The people always rang her triumphs before she returned, for her swordsmanship was superb, never suffering defeat.
Princess! Come enjoy the feast with us.
The triumphant people raised their glasses, yet she declined, with a smile and a wave. The children of the sea thought she was shy, but little did they know that in the dead of night, her castle too echoed with music. Though that music was loud, twisted, and invoked spite. Before a song even finished, the princess was already biting her lips, and the sea foam brushed away her tears.
All of your people sing and dance with skill. So why do I alone lack a good singing voice?
The princess wept, her face on the queen's knees.
The ocean's favorite child can control the waves and is invincible in battle. In exchange, Talantin took away your singing voice.
The queen consoled the princess, caressing the other's hair bun. Finally, she relented and took a chalice.
If you're truly troubled, then imbibe the honey brew in this blessed chalice, and throw yourself into the feast at ease.
The liquid in the cup sat still, reflecting her loneliness.
Princess, come sing with us!
The people outside her window invited her warmly still. She finally ceased to hesitate, drinking down all the honey brew in one swallow, and leaped into the crowds. She played music and sang, smiling and dreaming. When her song was over, it felt as if waking from a dream. The people rushed to raise their glasses. But as soon as the honey brew touched her lips, the princess plummeted to the ground, and her cheeks became rosy in drunkenness. The whispers of the ocean filled her ears as the princess fell drunk again and again at the prelude of a feast.
Seems like you still have not been able to get rid of that curse.
The gold weaver softly took the cup away from her hand.
If you want to enjoy yourself to the fullest, then leave this honey brew till the very end.
She smiled, then tilted the cup towards the gold weaver's lips.
Even if one is burdened with imperfections, I beg you to remember not to refuse that sip filled with fantasy and dreams. She returned home after many years. The princess of the ocean stood alone with her sword drawn, stepping over the blooming blood of her peers. Before her, the creator of the sea sirens and the mother goddess of feasts was already sinking into the drunkenness of imminent death. When the blood pact of the law won over the ocean's core flame, the sea siren once again lost her melodious voice. I am willing to accept the final Imperial command. But it is a pity that our feast was ultimately a mirage.
The deep sea became a silent place of dwelling. Hugging her knees, Electra locked herself in. Savage and fearsome monsters swam past her, but none dared to interrupt her tragic dream. Till one day, a golden trout's bubbles floated into her gloomy waters.
Long time no see, Gladius. Iceland. Now you have truly become the ocean's bedrock.
Old friends met again, and new friends came in greeting. Many messengers came in company. The playful kitten hid behind the golden trout. The butterfly of the deadly shadow fluttered in courtesy.
If you don't mind,
The resplendent pearl sparkled.
we hope you can regain your strength and sing for the world once again.
Electra raised her violin sword in doubt, as the strings had long ago rusted and snapped. But a few golden strands cleansed all the filth around her, then stretched out to become new strings. The golden strings showed Electra that the world she loved was not yet silent, and the journey of deliverance continued still. Yet the path to the Sea of Stars would not be a carefree feast. The golden trout never met with her again, and the waves brought endless news of sorrow. Amidst the long wait, she remained bound by decree. All the flames had died out, extinguished until this world fell into eternal silence. And the wordless enemies in the deep sea were the audience of this rite, the Theorus.
You already know that the world is just an illusion.
The sea siren gazed out beyond the heavens and once more raised her glass to fill it with honey brew.
Since the mirage of pleasures can only disappear like foam, when you return, will you save some ocean spray for me?
This was a city of festivities, where never-ceasing songs eternally filled the air. Chrysosaurs, demigods, and mortals all came to feast from the four corners of the world. It was beautiful and radiant, performing the sea siren's drama amidst the revelry. The siren once longed for the banquet to never end, yet she witnessed the music fade and the guests disperse. As a fish, she was destined to drift with the waves, whether amidst the surging tides of evil or immersed in the currents of the starry sea. Until a millennium later, when the fish from beyond the sky finally took their seat.
I enjoy banquets. How about you, little gray fry?
Having beheld the monarch's gift, she fulfilled her demigod's destiny. The tides within her heart recede, and her requiem draws near. A sliver of light fell from a crack on the cave's ceiling. A blazing ray pierces the surface of the sea. An aching urge to chase the light wells within her, and with a flick of her tail, she drifts toward the breach. In the deep sea, 1,000 years passed. The sea siren once swam to the shore with unwavering will. Fish gathered in silent procession to escort the princess to her final rest. The moment she leapt free from the water, she felt the waves stirred by peals of laughter. Mirages of her friends shimmered and faded, and songs of joy rang out from the shore, just as she had wished. Dux Forgoris sliced the Dromus flank with a time-worn edge. Dux Brumalis cast an icy chalice, steaming with the breath of frost. Dux Halcolithist brimmed her vessel with honey brew, while Dux Carminum unfurled a scroll of new verse.
At last you have arrived, our belated musician.
The gold weaver's silver needles hover in the air, weaving beautiful outfits for her. Electra accepts the gift that does not exist, as salty water wets her new attire. She knows this is not reality. Just like the world she loves, mere foam in the sea of stars.
Even so.
she drank down the warm glow in the cup as intoxication flew from her fingers into music and song. In the drunkenness granted by her mother, in the dream granted by that drunkenness, in the feast granted by that dream.
I too shall have my fill of feasts.
Now sober, she begins one last song. The musician plucks her strings in the spring, and the waltzing hem stirs the water into waves, revealing memories in throngs. She sings of the once awakened Titan, how the princess accompanied the queen to swim in azure waves. She sings of the confident and dashing monarch, of loyal knights who marched with the imperator to seize the solemn states. She sang of the one destined by heaven's will, of demigods who bore 1,000 years of watch for the hero. She sang of that little gray fry, and how the gladius defended the deliverer from apocalypse's storms. She sang of herself, a cup made of fish bones, ever waiting for someone to banish the nihility within, pouring the honey brew of fate for her to the brim. She sang until her voice turned hoarse, and the spirit water she held was no more. The honey brew ran out, the final notes dispersed, and the feast of fantasy shattered in turn. Before the deadly quiet seashore, she gave one final smile, then faded into sea foam.
To the fish from beyond the sky, we shall sink into the past.
For she had glimpsed the sky beyond the cave, and chose to believe in the promised future, embracing a hope as fragile as mist.
You must carry the new sun and swim toward the distant horizon.
I dreamed of a stellar jade. A huge stellar